welcome back. I'm here again with Mr. Big Wade, and we want to share some of the food that you can eat in China. I think most people don't really know the sheer breadth of options that you have, and only if you have someone with you that can actually speak the language can you really get into the meat and potatoes of it, the meat and potatoes. So we're going to order up some food here at the Sichuan restaurant and share it with you, let you have a peek into what it looks like, and we hope you enjoy it.
我就和大家说一下我们刚点了哪3个菜。第一个就是一个前菜凉菜，就是晾鱼摆肉，那个是一个非常经典的一个川菜类的东西。第二个是鱼香肉丝，第三是一个上汤青菜。这3个东西我们是做午餐吃的，配米饭哈。
That's what we got. It's going to be good. All right, we're back. We've got our food here, and before Wade explained what each of the dishes were, but let's just do it in English just so in case you weren't following along with the translation. So Wade, can you just kind of explain what each of these things are in English?
Sure, I'm going to start right over here. This one is in Chinese called 晾衣摆肉, literally means hanging clothes, white meat. It's usually a cold dish, starting out at the beginning of your meal because it's served cold and it's a little more refreshing. The meat and the cucumber don't have any seasoning. The seasoning's all down here. So you basically have to take your clothes off the line and get them dirty to eat.
So you dip it in.
That's right, you dip it in that sauce.
What is the sauce?
This has got chili oil, garlic, ginger, sesame seeds, sometimes some crushed peanuts. Basically what you're looking at is a generic chili dipping oil from Sichuan, used to season all sorts of cold dishes.
Yeah, that's very spicy. And Sichuan is known for being super spicy.
That's right, it's usually pretty spicy. This one will be spicy and have that numbing flavor. There's probably some Sichuan peppercorn also in there, so get ready for the tingle.
And that's the thing, like, if any of you are followers from my days in Korea, Korean food is also extremely spicy, but it's a different type of spice. It's more like a punch, where you're like, oh, that's spicy and hot in my mouth, whereas this kind of spice, it kind of creeps up on you more slowly, and all of a sudden your lips start to get a little numb, the top of your head gets really warm, so yeah, numbing, that's exactly what it is.
Numbing spice, exactly.
Yeah.
This one right here in front of me is a little bit different. In Chinese, we call this one 鱼香肉丝. It really just translates to fish fragrance meat slivers. A lot of people get thrown off with that name. They think it's going to have fish in it or a fishy flavor. There's really no fishiness to it at all. It's just like how there's no clothes in this one. It's just referring to a style of cooking where they use some broad bean paste, a little bit of vinegar goes in, and really what you end up with is a sort of sweet and sour profile. What's in it? There's some carrot shreds. I've seen it with cucumber shreds, zucchini shreds, shredded vegetables, thinly slivered, with the meat that's also thinly slivered. In Sichuan food, they really value having each piece of food being cut to the same length and size, so that when it's stir-fried, when it's cooked, and when it's eaten, you get that uniform texture throughout. Just like with this one, everything is cut to a thin piece, very thin sliver. You want to have that so that each piece can be tasted equally. And then this last one, this is some kale with some century eggs popped in there and a few mushrooms, and then they've put some soup on top. So you get 2-in-1 in this.
Yeah, and the century egg from the market video that we did. They were next to they were with that vendor selling the egg. So this is what it actually looks like. We'll show it to you when we start digging in.
All right,
bon appetit. So this is the century egg, and you can see that's actually the white, right?
That's right.
That's egg white, and it turns dark. We've eaten them. We eat them at. You can get them in market and stuff. But why is it turning dark?
It could be due to the processing. So when they make those, they sometimes coat them in a black ash. They actually use ashes to create the texture, the coating on the outside for the preserving of it. So it could be because of that.
You know, I've ordered like porridge, rice. They have rice porridge is really popular here, and sometimes you'll get the chunks, and you're like, "What is this green gelatinous thing in there?" And I think that's the
That's right.
century,
That's that.
right?
Yep.
All right, so and it's pretty good because it's kind of like a little bit. I think it's a little bit stronger. Ah, there's our rice.
There we go. It's just good.
I think it's a little stronger, right, than a regular egg, like
That's
a little
right.
more pungent.
And it's a usually it's a duck egg. You're gonna get duck eggs when you have century
Okay,
eggs.
so I
You can make them with any egg though. Chicken eggs. They even do it sometimes with little quail eggs. But duck is really popular because it's really rich.
all right.
Thank you.
It's soup. It's it's a hearty flavor. You know, you can it kind of has like a thicker, hearty flavor. I think because of the egg, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it could be a chicken broth that they use. I have seen that as well. And sometimes they use a chicken broth to make the soup base.
Big chunks of garlic in there. Pork, right?
That's right.
Pork belly.
This one's a different cut. This is, they call it, I think, jiantuirou. It's usually a lean and a fatty piece with a little bit of the skin attached.
And a thinly sliced cucumber. I'm gonna try it. This is really spicy, but what's too much? That's probably a lot, right?
That's a good, that's perfect. Because it's completely unseasoned, so you want a little bit of more flavor than what you would think on there. My clothes fell off.
It's really all about the sauce, right? And that's the common Sichuan sauce, right? Without the sauce, it would be kind of bland. It's really spicy. But the cucumber kind of makes it fresh. That's really good.
This here is the fish fragrance one. You can kind of see how everything's cut in these slivers. I'm gonna go in and try this one. And I'm going with it right on top of the rice because this is one of those dishes that's good, really good with rice.
Are there other areas of China where it's like super spicy like that?
There are. If you go to Sichuan, it's always going to have this sort of profile, spicy with numbing. If you go just right next door to Hunan, directly east of Sichuan, northwest of Guangdong, where we're located now, you're going to find just intense heat. Not really that numbing spice, not much of the Sichuan peppercorn and everything, but lots of chilies. Fresh chilies, preserved pickled chilies, lots of different kinds of spice, but that more sharper. Similar maybe to what's in Korea.
Okay, is that the yolk?
Yep, that's the yolk.
That's yolk. So that's kind of what the inside of these century eggs look like. It's probably duck, you said. It has, like, if you cook a soup with the yolk, if you put a hard-boiled egg in the yolk, it kind of makes it cloudy. That's like what this is like.
We're getting our superfoods in today with this kale.
Yeah, that's the manager lied to us. She said it would be really quiet. Like every seat in the house is full, but it makes it feel more lively.
I'm feeling the tingle already.
No. I'm sweating. I can really taste the carrot. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of is one of the profound flavors in it.
Do you notice that little bit of black that's in it? It's got like a black colored vegetable. That is a cloud ear mushroom. It gives it a little bit of a crisp texture. Really doesn't taste like a lot on its own, but I forgot that is usually a typical part of this particular dish here.
When you were studying Chinese, by the way, you went to Pitt? No.
That's right, Pitt. Yep.
Wade's from Pennsylvania, went to Pitt, studied Mandarin as his major, and Korean as a minor. During your study, did you ever come to China or go to like super Chinese areas?
Yeah, when I was, it's funny, China and Korea kind of crossed paths all throughout my university life, but my first interaction with China really was Chinatown in New York City. I was doing a speech competition called the, it was called the Chinese Bridge, Hanyu Qiao, this one. So that was really my first taste of seeing Chinese culture at university level, using the language. And then after the summer of my junior year, I got the chance to study abroad in Shanghai for 5 weeks during the summer, and got to go to Hangzhou, got to go to Cuisine, which is up by Jiangsu province, near the Great Lake there. And then after university, I came straight to China.
Now you've never taken an HSK test, right?
No.
I'm trying to get Wade to take an HSK test. But you don't really take an HSK test if you're studying it, right, as a major. Like I think HSK tests are really for if you're learning it on your own, or maybe to indicate your level to get a job or something like that.
Yep. It can depend. HSK, some people, they have to take an HSK test to actually study in China as university students from other countries. A lot of students, I remember in my days in Shanghai, that were from Africa, they were actually studying full-time during the regular fall and spring semesters at Donghua University. And they had to take an HSK level because their classes would be taught in Chinese. So they had the place. It's funny, my days at Pitt, we would have Chinese New Year dinners, and this is actually one of the dishes that always was requested because everyone loved it. Crowd favorite.
For New Year's? Does it have any like intrinsic meaning that makes it for New Year's, or it's just popular?
I think it was just tasty. I mean, what we've got right here is even generic for Sichuan standards. This could be found all over Sichuan, all over China, really. You have to really go to those local small towns like a Quanzhou up in Sichuan to really see what the locals are having there. But I'm sure all people in Sichuan would love what we've got. So.
Yeah, it's a big menu. They had tripe.
Yep.
Which is cow tongue and lung. Wade's eaten that before. I haven't eaten that before. So I didn't want to chance it on the first video.
Maybe safe.
Yeah. I do really like the tang and close in.
Sometimes this one is served with a lot more garlic. I actually think this one, I think this one's a little bit mild on the garlic.
Maybe they toned it down for the foreigners.
Yeah, maybe.
They always think I'm Chinese.
It's got, this is, out of all of it, this one has the most typical Sichuan flavor though.
Oh, is that right?
When you think of it. It's got like chili, it's got the numbing.
And you said this was kind of the same similar flavor as the tripe.
Yeah, the same chili sauce would probably be on the tripe.
Break down the spice.
That's why I get it. It's cool.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Probably why it's there.
Yeah.
Cool people down. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed having a meal with us here in Donghua, China, having some Sichuan food. If you like this kind of video, let me know, and we'll keep doing them. One last look at the food that's left. There's the restaurant. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace. Say goodbye, Wade.
Bye.
Here's the restaurant we just ate at here, Chuan Sai, right? Chuan Sai. It's a Sichuan restaurant, and Wade, can you tell us what that says up there?
Yeah, it says 让大郎爱上麻辣味 means make Da Lang fall in love with numbing spice.
Fall in love with numbing spice.